in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. And this is the coffee chat with Nat. Well, Stu has gone off to take the son to the school and the girls to food shopping. And as always, lovely to join you. I've been just on Periscope for about 3 or 4 minutes, introducing myself and talking about how excited I was about my ultimate success planners coming to fruition this week and posting them up to all those people who pre-ordered. So great to see many of you starting to join through. If a couple of you can give me a hello through the question box, maybe what's the weather like at your end? Where are you calling from? Because it's really overcast here in Melbourne. I think it's not too cold, but we've had a really early start to summer. But it's not even summer yet. I think we're barely halfway through spring. Hey Adair, Adair's from Adelaide, and nice to see you on the call as well. And we've got Ruby, and we've got a couple of other names that I've never seen in our calls before. Hey, I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Chelly? Chelly or Chili? I'm sure it's Chelly. And she's from the Sunshine Coast, and it's blue skies up there. Oh, awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, let's get stuck into it because, as we know, half an hour does go. And hello to everyone on Periscope. Half an hour does go very, very quickly, and we always get stuck into the content. Now, how does this go? So these calls were set up to introduce our new members into the Ultimate Business Support Group, to add some value, to give them a bit of an orientation about the group. Hi, Rahela, and nice to see you on the call as well. And basically to talk about and brainstorm any business questions. We usually end up having a topic of the morning, which I randomly just kind of pick out of my head, and we have a conversation around that. Obviously, the right stuff always turns up, and I think today's topic is very much, I feel, is going to be around planning, because I've been just inundated with all of these obviously planners arriving, but also next week on the 20th, as you guys over the weeks have seen me slowly fill the VIP marketing day at our house. That's just around the corner on the 20th, and it's fully booked, which means I'm all about buying all those wall planners and teaching people how to organize their events. But what we do in the beginning is, hey Ruby, nice to see you as well. In the beginning, I just share a social media tip. It always is something a little bit different. Sometimes we talk about how to use the group most effectively, and then we go through chatting for about 20 odd minutes, 25, about the topic of the day, and you guys are. Please, I love interaction. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking and talking. If you don't stop and ask me a question or make a comment, or ask each other questions, because there's probably about 10 people on Periscope and there's about 10 of you on the call here. We get about 20 to 30 people on average each Monday, which is nice. And some are regulars and some pop in and out and come whenever they can. We do record these calls. We do have a YouTube playlist, which is just called, I think, Coffee Chat Recordings, under my YouTube channel, just under my name if you look it up, and you can go through, and each of those Mondays has been named with the topic that was most discussed that morning. So if there's something that you're really keen on learning about, then check out what each of those topics are. I basically put the date and then what was the key topic around what we discussed in that morning. Awesome. By the way, in case you do see a Donna Brown name there, no, it's Natasa Denman. That's just the administrator name. Well, anyway, so let's get stuck into it. So, social media tip for this week. Well, actually, I was thinking of giving you a tip on how to switch off social media, because I don't know about you, but I have had the challenge in the past, and from time to time, even nowadays, in switching off from social media. So one of the things that I first did I think it was about a year and a half ago, is actually to switch off my notifications. So no longer blips or little bubbles turning up on my phone, unless I checked social media. Those kind of things did not no longer appear on my phone, which means that I'm less likely to be distracted every second of every day. Because I don't know if you guys know, but every time you get distracted away from, say, a task that you're focusing on, what happens is that you take 15 minutes to get back onto that task. Lorraine says, "Hey, I'm here. Are you late? Are you?" Lorraine's one of our regular, participants on the coffee chat. Anyway, so switch off notifications. Certainly, you can check your phone. I mean, don't go into the habit of checking it every 5 seconds. Do leave it off. And another thing that you can do is certainly sign out of Facebook completely, so it takes you a longer way to get back in to check it. So if you get into that habit. Now, another rule for me is I have Saturdays mostly off social media, and even up to Sunday afternoon. Like Sunday evening, I start back up, and Friday evening, I also am sort of winding it down. So see if you can have a 24-hour period of where when you are going to be switched off, so that you come back refreshed and feeling good about using it, and not feeling that it is an interruption to your days and activities. Certainly, social media, as we know in our small businesses, is super important for that. We need to be connecting, nurturing our relationships that we perhaps make offline. Like after the tour that I have been on, I came back now. I've been back about 8 or 9 days, but I went around 10 days, 12 events, and basically I met probably close to 150 to 200 people. I don't know exactly on that tour. However, if I had not connected with anyone on social media, our relationship really would not continue any more past those events, because we obviously don't live in the same cities. So now we're connected. Now we can follow each other. And I mean, Adair, you're a perfect example. I think I met you back in March in Adelaide. And you and I have been now getting to know each other for probably 6 or so months, which is fantastic. She's sending me a smiley face. So keep nurturing those relationships. And I guess the second tip is, every time you meet some people at events, especially those that you have had a conversation with and connection with, do then connect. My two platforms would be LinkedIn and Facebook, and then keep in touch through there. Perfect. All right, let me read. Lorraine was speaking to a client. All right, Adair has got a question. She says, "Hey, Nat, I'm having an audit of my digital marketing and online presence this morning. New to me, and I have no idea what to expect. Can you comment on this, if it fits in what you're planning to talk about?" What is an audit? Is there some people who actually do, I guess, maybe digital marketing and online presence? Is it mostly about social media, or is it about your website and all of those kind of things that you've got happening? Because I know that there's a website audit that people do to see how effective your website is, and where it ranks and all that sort of stuff. That I understand. Your social media presence, I'm not sure if there's such a thing as an audit. But I do know that there's websites audits and things like that to see how you rank. So they'll just tell you yes or no, and then most likely they'll have some kind of a solution that they'll present to you to improve that. That's what I'm guessing, Adair. I'm not. I've had people do website audits on my website, but I haven't gone any further than that to working with them. So she goes, "Of course." Yeah, cool. All right. So I hope that question, but by all means, any question goes here. These coffee chats are actually meant to be quite casual. So any comments randomly posted, it doesn't have to be the topic of the day, can by all means be posted. So let me flick my little slide here with my little planners. So the planners, the topic of the day really, I guess, because I've been just doing all sorts of things around planning. These the planners that arrived the other day, finally from Macedonia, cleared them through customs. Many hundred, well, nearly $1,000 later, because I had to get custom brokers. Well, this is something maybe you guys need to be aware of, because maybe potentially you will be in Grace. Your ones was posted on Saturday, so I reckon the next couple of days. Grace goes, can't wait to get mine. I was gonna say with when you're getting stuff posted in, I say cargoed in from overseas, if you're ever going to do that, there's a couple of things to be aware of. Obviously, is it of commercial nature? What is the value of what you're bringing in? So there will be an invoice that comes in around what you've paid. Now, if the goods are less than $1,000, you will not need a customs broker to clear them through customs because they're of commercial nature. I think they'll just clear them for you. But if they're more than $1,000, then you have to get this customs broker to do a few bits and pieces. There's some kind of GST component to be paid and all this sort of stuff. And anyway, so, and then they flick some switch at their end, and they say to the company who, once you've paid your bill, they say to the company, yep, they're clear to go and or whatever. For these kind of planners, well, the value was American dollars, I think 1,600 or something, and then obviously $600 was the bill, plus another $120 that was I don't know, their fees of the company that holds the boxes. So just those extra, if you're buying stuff from overseas in bulk in boxes and all that sort of stuff, those things you need to be aware of. Now that I know what it is, then I can obviously calculate that into my cost. Overall, at the end of the day, it was still worth it getting them over there. These planners, in case you're curious, they cost about $20 per piece to produce. So I think I spent around $4,000 printing them. The design stage is not included in that, that's different, but the printing, the postage, all the fees that I had paid, so they ended up being $20 to actually be created per piece. In Australia here, when I was getting quotes, it was around $40, $45 to do that as well. Plus, our wonderful postage system charges about $10 to $15, depending on where people live in Australia, to get them posted out. So there's not a lot of margin on these, and the price is $59.95. So realistically, yeah, at this stage, that's where people go, oh wow, well, planners are so, you can buy a $15 diary or a $10 diary in places, but just you need to look a little bit deeper at, obviously they're bulk producing probably hundreds of thousands of them and all that sort of stuff. But I'm still very, very happy with everything that's gone down. With all my pre-orders, I actually covered all my costs. I never made this as a money-making exercise. I made this, I wanted to create it for myself, and I knew that some of my clients and friends my Facebook friends would like to get their hands on one of these so they can plan the way I plan. In early November, those of you that around, I will do a webinar for an hour on how to properly use this planner, but I'll give some tips here as to what it contains so that you guys can check it out, and how actually it's more so how I plan my week, not so much, to sell the planner, because the planners are already going like hotcakes. It's pretty much going to be, I reckon before the end of this month, they'll all be gone. So that's cool. So let me see. That's very valuable to know. You're welcome, Grace. So you never know, like, when you're going to need to do certain things. Ruby says, I'm very excited for you. Charlie, they're $59.95. On this next slide, I've got the little link. I might just put it in the chat box because people always, what did I just do? Oh, hang on a tick. I think I've just gone into the link to buy my own planner. Hang on a tick. Let me see if I can click in here, copy, and I'll put it in the chat box if any of you do want a copy of it, and I'll explain a couple of things around it as to why I've put certain things there. It'll appear like this. Oh, okay, it's not in there. That's all right. Just get rid of that. All right. So in why I designed the way I designed it, basically I modeled partly Kiki K, but I added extra things that I always used to add on to the Kiki K diary. And I modeled the fact that she had these vertically aligned days, because if you know A4 diaries, or a lot of diaries, are aligned horizontally, which means that they you can't see what's happening morning, afternoon, evening. I really like that drop down, area there. And what I did, because for entrepreneurs, we tend to work really late into the evening, I actually even extended the hours. So it starts at 7 a.m. here at the top, and then it finishes at 10 p.m. at night at the bottom. Now, why is that? Because a lot of us say are mumpreneurs who have children to go to bed and actually have appointments in that late evening. So that's why most diaries finish at 7 o'clock. Well, entrepreneurs work really, really late, so I went all the way up to 10 o'clock. At the bottom here, you also can see she had notes or whatever. I actually made that the 6 top to-do list, and I always talk about this list about how it's important to do that. And I modeled that from a book I read, Mary Kay Ash, Miracles Happen. And Mary Kay had this woman who used to do this and teach this to CEOs and managers. And one time when she did teach it to them, what happened was that, well, not one time, but she basically went up to a CEO and said, hey, let me spend, 10 minutes with each of your executives. And if that's worth anything to you, then you can send me a check for that strategy. And she did, and then their productivity quadrupled, and he sent her a $30,000 check. Now, this was 30 years ago, guys. That's probably 300,000, if not more nowadays. And he rang her and said, what the hell did you say to them? Tell me, I want to do it as well. And she said to them that they needed each night before they went to bed, before they left their work, that they needed to come up with a top 6 to-do list for the very following day. Why 6? Basically, that there isn't too many to overwhelm you, not too little, not to stretch you. And she said, order them from the most important to the least important task. Certainly eat the frog first, and do that each and every day. So what I did is, obviously I've been doing that myself, so I put that into this planner so that it would have the top 6 to-do list within it. And then in your top left-hand side next to the month there, that you can see that this week's goals. So your top 3 intentions for this week. So we all set yearly goals. We set 90-day goals, which is actually on the following page if I show you this. So in the back of the diary, I've got 5 pages for 1 page for your 12-month goals, and then 1 page each for your quarterly goals. So first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter. Actually, if you haven't set your fourth quarter goals by now, you're about 12 days, what day of the month? 12 days overdue. So do that. It's the fourth quarter. And then basically I have put down here, and in the previous 2 pages of these pages, I actually educate you on how to do it and give you tips, obviously the way I have been doing it. So that's why I have actually set the weekly goals, because you need to break things down again into smaller chunks, because otherwise they seem too big and too overwhelming. And you can just be very simple one-liners. At the start of every month, there is a monthly overview, which I haven't got a photo of in here, but basically that's also got even a monthly goals area on the side of it. And the other thing that I have put here, see there on the Saturday, we've only got top 3 to-dos. So I actually have already pre-filled out the first one, forcing people to do something for themselves. So I've just put that as something for me. And then on the Sunday, if you can see in the bottom right, I've put down number 1 task is to do your weekly goals. So on the Sunday evening, you're setting those goals for the following week. And the top right on the above the days, you've got there my 2 events this week are. Now, what that is I have always talked about how important networking is and going out to physically meet people. Whether that's you running an event, visiting a networking event, going somewhere we're going to be physically with people. So that's what I actually encourage and teach my clients, is that they go out and get connecting, because it's the fastest way to build your business, and you build your relationships as well with people. So that's why every single week I've got there 2 events that you've attended, because I want you to, on average, to be going with to 2. Obviously, if there's more, note them down, and then see if you've kept up the two average by the end of the year, you will be very, very pleasantly surprised as to how much you grow and how much your business grows as a result of meeting potential joint venture, strategic partners, and occasionally you do walk into people that end up being your clients as well along that way. So a mixture. Whether you're going to a seminar, that's an event. Even if you're educating yourself, that's still an event. You're still connecting with people there. It doesn't have to be just networking. It can be a variety of things. You're a speaker, you are networking, even like an expo, if just anywhere you're surrounding yourself physically and live with people. So that's what it looks like. That's what I do. There's other areas within it. There's some notes pages, obviously every month. At the start of the planner, there's also events calendar. So how do you plan out your events? And also event checklists. So what I have put down is, if you're running a webinar, what do you need to have completed? And you have little tick boxes. If you're running a seminar, what do you need to have thought of and completed? And then if you're running a retreat as well, because I do obviously webinars, seminars, and retreats, and I always people always ask me, well, how do I do it? So obviously the checklists are very how can I say, they give you guidelines. Of course, it's not the depth of information I would need to teach if I was going to teach someone how to do them for themselves, but they give you at least the scope of all of those things that you need to be doing. So so that's a little bit of any questions, guys. Obviously, you can buy yourself any normal planner as well and actually do these things with. Obviously, I was adjusting Kiki K's one all the time to suit my needs of what I was doing, but it's nice to have my little lines of doing all the things that I did. Shelly was saying thank you for the link. And yes, Ruby, the checklists are in there. There's 3 pages of them, and they're just after the 2 event pages. So there's like a yearly look of a calendar. Let me just show you guys. I might be able to open something here to show you the internal, but because it's a little bit offset, I was waiting on the other. Oh, actually, I might be able to show you like this. Hopefully you can see this. So there's personal information, a welcome page, quote page here, obviously a couple of calendar things. This would be the left side page, which is the yearly overview of events, and this is the right side page. Now here are the checklists. So checklist for webinar execution. I better actually show the people on Periscope as well. Hang on. Checklist for seminar execution, and then retreat execution, and then a notes page, and then goes in. This is the monthly overview. So this looks at your month, and then on the right hand side, it's got like the monthly goals. And then obviously the internal of what the weeks look like. And here on the 1st of December, I put up your Christmas tree. And on the 3rd of every month, it's got time to do your bookkeeping, because you should be doing your bookkeeping every single month. And that's what we do. The first week of every month, we complete our bookkeeping. And it's never too early. This is what I was saying last week, you always need to be doing, you're always spending or earning money. So it doesn't matter if you're not earning any, you still have to do whether you're doing it on a spreadsheet or what it is. And then on the 27th of every month, I'll just show you, we have got a question here. Couple of questions. Have I taken a break this month? Okay. Yes or no? You need to tick. And then, is my next holiday booked? Okay. Because you always have to have something to look forward to, and you must, as an entrepreneur, be taking breaks. If I flick through some of these pages now to the back, see if we can go to the back. I'm just going to flick through them. See, I'll be able to. Okay, the back. After, by the way, it goes from 1st of December through to 15th of January. And then it goes into the Smash It Out page, into the page that explains how to set the goals and what to do. And then obviously the 12-month goals, 1st quarter goals, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, fourth quarter, my 5-year vision. So pulling together of what your life will look like in 5 years' time. And this, you would be amazed if you fill this out, how much we underestimate what we can do in 5 years and how much we overestimate what we can do in less. I've got obviously a little bit of information of my author retreats, because obviously we run our Ultimate 48-Hour Author Retreats and the dates. And for my authors who would be getting this planner, it actually has the deadlines. So this helps them plan and get their books in time. And I'll put that into the diary, and then we finish up on some notes. So there you go. You had a full tour of the planner. That worked out really well. Actually, I thought it wouldn't come through as well. I hope that's worked out well at your end. All right, let me flick through the slide, and I'll just have a look here. Adair says, I prefer to work electronically. Is there a cyber equivalent? No, there isn't. And this is not meant to be an electronic piece. It's actually physically you have to commit to the things that you're doing. Writing, as I said at the start of the call, I don't know if you noticed or if you heard me, but writing is intentional. So when you're putting pen to paper, it's actually really strongly setting the intentions. But there isn't. It just wouldn't work. So sorry. Thanks. It's fantastic from Elizabeth. Oh my God. It is precise and specific. Love it. That's what I am. Well done from Lorraine. Thanks. Claudia says, wow, that's fantastic. Claudia ordered hers last night. Now she can't wait to get it. Thank you for sharing. This is wonderful from her Hella. Awesome. So we've got 4 minutes to go. Sorry, this has been, I think I've been giving you quite a few insights around how to obviously import goods from overseas, if we were to summarize, and what happens when they come in, and the costs around, say, even if you're thinking of creating something like this. Overall, I would say it's been a $5,000 exercise, but I love it, and I'm really glad I did it. And we've talked about obviously a little bit of how I plan. So I'll go into a lot more detail as to how to do all of these things properly in a webinar that will be coming up early November properly. All right, so upcoming events, we've got 3 minutes to go. If you're in Melbourne, my very, very last Ultimate 48-Hour Author Blueprint to Business Success is happening this Wednesday. From 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. in Canterbury. Actually, a friend of mine's got a beautiful venue called Clarify Village, and she's hosting me. So basically, I'm only inviting people. I'm not actually promoting it myself. She's promoting this event. So I'm doing just a special $30 ticket for anyone that wants to come along. We teach you how to write your book in 48 hours, how to market it, how it gets unpacked in the room for one person in the room, and every $30 ticket gets a book, one of my books, and usually it's the 48-Hour Author book that people choose. So really for the cost of a book. If you want to come along to that, just send me a message. I'll send you a little link to register. Otherwise, it's not being primarily promoted by me, but I am allowed to obviously invite people along to it. A couple of other things that are happening this month, and let me just maybe put these links also in the chat box. A huge one that's happening is the Ultimate Marketing, a Brand Accelerator Masterclass on the 28th and 29th of October in Doncaster. And then in the evening of that masterclass, we have got the UBS Melbourne live event. So this is the event that is obviously linked up to our Facebook page. We run one in Adelaide, we run one in Sydney, we run one obviously in Melbourne. Brisbane, we're coming to you the 4th of November. We're launching Brisbane on the 4th of November, and Canberra, I'm pretty sure will be launched before the end of the year. I'm looking for someone to take the leadership spot in Perth. So if you do know anyone that likes to network or run a networking event and wants to go under our banner, do connect me with them. I'm looking for someone in Perth. Adelaide, I have found someone that would replace our gorgeous Linda, a couple of people that are going to buddy up and do it. So basically, we're going to be at the same venue on this 28th and 29th. We're just going to stay on and do the event in the evening. If you want to register for any of those are the links. The Brand Accelerator Masterclass is going to be huge. It's an event that I could easily be charging $4,000 or $5,000. However, it is a event that actually I've got over 42, around 42 people so far coming to the masterclass. It's going to be very experiential. There's going to be music. There's going to be really interesting things getting people out of their comfort zone happening. And there's going to be some purple hair. Well, that tells you a couple of things. But it's all about how do you develop your character and your personal brand so that you grow and actually give yourself the best chance to be a success, because a lot of you guys on the call are solopreneurs, micro businesses, and really you are your brand. And so important to work on building that brand and the awareness. And ultimately, you know that people buy people, so we're creating a version of you that is going to be attractive in being I guess I'm not bored. What is that? Attractive for people to obviously come and do business with you. So if you're interested in any of those or anything, just you can always send me a private message on Facebook. I'd love to connect with you. I trust some of the tips this morning have been valuable. I knew that half an hour would go so quickly. So if you loved it and you want to listen to more other stuff, then go access the YouTube channel. All right, guys, I'm going to go and have some breakfast now before I get stuck into my week. Have an awesome morning, and I shall connect with you again next week at the same time, same place. We've been going over 3 or 4 months without missing a Monday, so that's really cool. You're welcome, Ruby. You're welcome, Rahela. Nice to see many fresh faces as well. Thanks, Adair, and those of you on Periscope as well. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a great week as well. Bye. Bye.